From the dusty fields of a small town to the electrifying boxing arena, one man's relentless drive transformed his humble beginnings into a legendary career. His journey is a testament to passion, perseverance, and the power of belief. Who is this unexpected champion? The farmer who defied the odds and rewrote his destiny inside the ring? Let's dive into the remarkable story of how Canelo Alvarez, a small-town farmer, became a boxing superstar. Canelo Alvarez was born on the outskirts of Guadalajara, Jalisco, with his family's roots stretching back to Los Reyes, Michoacán. His early life was a whirlwind, a mix of hard work, constant movement, and a close-knit family that made every challenge feel a bit more bearable. Being the youngest of 8 kids, 7 energetic brothers, and 1 gentle sister meant that life was never quiet. Even though money was always tight, Alvarez grew up surrounded by love and laughter, and that meant that he was able to keep his spirits high. Because his father didn't own a home, the family was always on the move, hopping from one rental to the next. This constant change meant that stability wasn't something that they could count on, but it did teach Alvarez a valuable lesson: adaptability. Whether it was adjusting to a new town or making friends in unfamiliar neighborhoods, he learned early on how to roll with the punches. His parents, Ana Maria Barragan and Santos Alvarez, were hardworking farmers, and from a young age, he was right there with them in the fields. The long, sun-drenched days of labor weren't just chores, they were lessons in perseverance and the kind of work ethic that would shape his future. While most kids his age were busy with school or sports, his dad had a different plan for him. Instead of diving into academics or joining a soccer team, Alvarez was sent out to do something a bit unexpected: selling ice creams on the buses. Now, I know that might sound unusual, but trust me, it was a game changer for him. According to The Guardian, he once said, "My dad wanted me to sell ice creams on the buses." And although he described himself as quiet, it wasn't because he was timid, it was just his nature. That job wasn't about earning an extra few pesos, it was about learning to deal with rejection, mastering the art of conversation, and understanding the value of hard work at a very young age. Of course, life wasn't all fun and games. Growing up wasn't exactly a bed of roses for Alvarez. The constant moving, the never-ending chores on the farm, and the pressures of an unusual childhood meant that every day brought its own set of challenges. And then, there was the added weight of being an amateur fighter, a path that wasn't exactly smooth either. He faced his fair share of bullying, and each rough encounter only served to fuel his inner drive. Every setback, every tough day, helped him build the kind of resilience that would one day go on to define his career in the boxing ring. Then, just when things seemed like they couldn't get any more complicated, Alvarez faced another major hurdle at the age of 15. His parents separated. Imagine trying to navigate the ups and downs of daily life, juggling farm work, dealing with bullies, and stepping into the boxing world when suddenly your family is torn apart. It was a heavy blow for a kid who already had so much on his plate. But instead of letting this heartbreak break him, Alvarez took it as a challenge, using the pain as a fuel to push himself even harder. Every twist and turn in Alvarez's early years was like another piece of the puzzle that made him who he is today. Everyone has to start from somewhere, right? For Canelo Alvarez, that beginning was in the amateur boxing ring when he was just 13 years old. From the moment he slipped on his gloves, you could tell that there was something special about him. Fast forward a bit to 2005, and after winning a gold medal at the Junior Olympics, he made a bold move: turning professional. On October 29, 2005, at just 15 years and 3 months old, Alvarez made his pro debut, knocking out Abraham Gonzalez in just 4 rounds. That night, the boxing world got a glimpse of a young talent destined for greatness. Now, here's something you might not know. Alvarez finished his amateur career undefeated. Yep, 53 wins in 53 fights, with an incredible 38 of those coming by knockout. Imagine the confidence and skill it must have taken to put together a record like that. It wasn't long before he began climbing the professional ranks at a pace that left fans and critics alike in awe. By the time May 1st, 2010 rolled around, a 20-year-old Alvarez was ready to prove himself on an even bigger stage. In a thrilling 9-round bout, he faced off against Puerto Rican fighter Jose Manuel Cotto and secured a technical knockout. This wasn't just another win, it was one of his most important early triumphs. At that point, Alvarez was already making waves as part of Golden Boy Promotions, the powerhouse organization led by Oscar De La Hoya. Being associated with a name like that gave him even more opportunities to showcase his talent, and he wasn't about to let them down. But if you thought that was the pinnacle of his early career, think again. The day that truly changed everything for Alvarez was March 5th, 2011. On that day, at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California, he squared off against Britain's Matthew Hatton. It was a high-pressure fight, with everything on the line, and Alvarez did not disappoint. He clinched a unanimous decision victory, capturing the WBC Super Welterweight title and, more importantly, cementing his status as a world champion for the very first time. That win wasn't just a trophy on the shelf, it was a declaration that Alvarez had arrived. Even after this milestone, there was still plenty of doubters. Many questioned whether a fighter from such humble beginnings could consistently perform at the highest levels, but Alvarez was determined to silence his critics. On May 5th, 2012, he headlined his very first major event, taking on the veteran and future Hall of Famer Shane Mosley. In a fight that went the full distance and was decided by the judges, Alvarez dominated every round. He outpointed Mosley, defending his WBC Super Welterweight title, and proved beyond any doubt that he belonged in the big leagues. It was a masterclass in determination, technique, and sheer willpower. And then came the bout that had everyone talking, a matchup for the ages.
119, 109, champion of the world, Saul!
On September 14th, 2013, Alvarez stepped into the ring against the legendary Floyd Mayweather Jr. Now, this wasn't just any fight. Alvarez at the time was Ring Magazine's #1 ranked light middleweight and held both the WBC and Ring titles. On the other side, Mayweather was widely regarded as the best pound-for-pound fighter, with titles in both the welterweight and light middleweight divisions. The fight was set at a catch weight of 152 pounds, a compromise between their usual fighting weights. To put things in perspective, on fight night, Mayweather reportedly weighed in at 150 pounds, while Alvarez came in at a staggering 165. Talk about an intriguing matchup. The atmosphere at the MGM Garden was nothing short of electric, with a sold-out crowd of 16,746 cheering them on. Both fighters knew that they were in for a battle that would go down in history. In the end, Mayweather edged out Alvarez via majority decision. One judge even scored the fight to draw at 114 to 114, while the other two had it in favor of Mayweather, with scores of 116 to 112 and 117 to 111 respectively. The controversy was so palpable that Judge C.J. Ross even retired after the bout. This chapter in Alvarez's career, with its highs and lows, dramatic wins and tough losses, only adds to the legend of a fighter that refused to be defined by his circumstances. After that tough loss to Mayweather, everyone was buzzing with questions. How would Alvarez handle the pressure of another big fight? What had he learned from that controversial bout? Well, the answer started coming on January 9th, 2014, when Golden Boy Promotions CEO Richard Schaefer announced that a deal had been struck for Alvarez to face off against 31-year-old Mexican boxer Alfredo Angulo. At the time, Angulo supported an impressive record of 22 wins and 3 losses, with 18 knockouts, and the fight was slated for March 8th, 2014 on Showtime pay-per-view at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. By March, ESPN reported that this showdown would take place at a catch weight of 155 pounds. Why the change? Alvarez had been struggling to make the light middleweight limit of 154 pounds, so moving to 155 was a practical solution. In a bit of an unexpected twist, Alvarez agreed to pay $100,000 of his minimum $1.25 million purse to Angulo, a move that bumped his guaranteed purse to $185,000. On top of that, during negotiations, Alvarez promised to weigh in at no more than 168 pounds on fight night. This fight would be his first of 5 at the 155-pound catchweight, marking a new chapter in his career. When fight night finally arrived, the atmosphere at the MGM was electric, with 14,610 fans filling the arena, ready to witness another epic chapter in Alvarez's story. On Showtime scale, Alvarez tipped the scales at 174 pounds, while Angulo came in at 170. It was clear from the start that both fighters were packing serious power, and the stakes were sky high. From the opening bell, Alvarez charged forward with a flurry of combinations that made his intentions unmistakable. He wasn't just fighting to win, he was out to prove that he had grown stronger and wiser from his previous setback. The bout quickly turned into a lopsided affair. As rounds progressed, it became evident that Alvarez's relentless aggression was wearing Angulo down. Things took a dramatic turn in round 6 when Angulo's left eye began to swell, a visible sign that he was taking a pounding and struggling to keep pace with Alvarez's ferocity. By the time the 10th round rolled around, Alvarez had built such an overwhelming lead that the fight was effectively in the bag. Then, in a moment that would be etched into the memories of everyone watching, Alvarez delivered a powerful lead left uppercut that sent Angulo reeling.
Daring Angulo to come and try to knock him out. Real big power index, and that's it.
Recognizing that Angulo could no longer continue, the referee stepped in and called off the fight, much to the displeasure of the crowd, which responded with a chorus of boos. At the time of the stoppage, the judges' scorecards were heavily in Alvarez's favor, two of the judges scoring it 89-82 and the third 88-83. The decisive victory wasn't just another win for the record, it was a bold statement. It showed that Alvarez had taken the hard lesson from his previous challenges, refined his approach, and was ready to dominate on the big stage. With this win, Alvarez silenced many of his doubters, proving that every setback had only made him more determined to rise even higher. After a stunning victory over Liam Smith on September 17, 2016, Alvarez was back in the spotlight, ready to prove that every setback was just fuel for his fire. After all, when you've just shown the world that you can knock down a champion twice and reclaim a world title with one devastating left hook, you're not about to slow down. The fight against Liam Smith was a statement, a bold declaration that Alvarez was in control, throwing combinations from the opening bell and turning the fight into his own personal highlight reel. Smith couldn't keep up, and by the 9th round, a crushing body shot left him no choice but to tap out. The arena roared as Alvarez showcased his power and precision, with his punch stats speaking for themselves. But the journey didn't end there. Soon after, the buzz began to build for another blockbuster showdown, this time a face-off with the ever-talked-about Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. With Chavez Jr. coming off a resurgent win, the stage was set for an explosive matchup that had fans and pundits alike buzzing. Negotiations moved quickly, and before long, the terms were set for a catchweight battle at 165 pounds. It was a clash of styles, a classic confrontation between two fighters hungry to prove their mettle. Fast forward to May 6, 2017, when the T-Mobile Arena in Paradise, Nevada was packed to the rafters with 20,510 eager fans. The energy in the air was electric. This was not just any fight, it was the moment where Alvarez was poised to make a statement that transcended weight classes. As the bell rang, Alvarez didn't waste a second. He came out with a blend of sharp footwork and relentless aggression, clearly determined to dictate the pace of the bout. Chavez Jr., known for his moments of flair and daring, stepped into the ring with a more cautious approach, a decision that would prove costly. From the very first round, it was evident that Alvarez was in a league of his own. While Chavez Jr. tried to press forward and find openings, Alvarez maintained his cool and systematically dismantled his opponent. Every jab, every combination was measured and effective. The scorecards began to tell a story. Round after round, Alvarez was outclassing Chavez Jr. so completely that the judges had no room for debate. By the time the final bell rang, all three judges had scored every single round in favor of Alvarez. A unanimous shutout, 120-108 across the board. Right after this win over Chavez Jr., Alvarez set his sights on his next monumental challenge, a showdown with Gennady Golovkin. The anticipation was electric, and fans knew that they were about to witness something special. When the bell rang, both fighters immediately started finding their rhythm. Alvarez dazzled with his nimble footwork, while Golovkin laid down a steady barrage of jabs, setting the stage for an all-out war. As the rounds rolled on, particularly between 4 and 8, the dynamics began to shift. Alvarez kicked off each round with explosive energy, showing off the skills that had brought him this far. However, as each round wore on, it seemed like his early burst faded just as Golovkin was ready to take over. Golovkin capitalized on that moment, methodically winning these middle rounds with his trademark power and precision. Then came the championship rounds, the real heart of the battle. In these rounds, the intensity soared. Alvarez started to counter more effectively, and for a few breathless moments, both fighters locked in toe-to-toe exchanges, throwing swing after swing. Most of those powerful punches missed their mark, but the determination was unmistakable on both sides. Ultimately, the fight ended in a draw, handing Golovkin his 19th consecutive title defense, inching him ever closer to the legendary Bernard Hopkins record. But the saga didn't end there. In the highly anticipated rematch, held in front of a sold-out crowd of 21,965, controversy reared its head once again. After 12 grueling rounds, Alvarez was declared the winner by majority decision. Two judges scored it 115 to 113 for Alvarez, while a third scored it 114 to 114 as a draw. The decision ignited fierce debate among fans, pundits, and the media alike, as the scorecards revealed how tightly contested the bout was, especially with all judges splitting 8 rounds. This fight, filled with tactical brilliance and raw determination, has only added another unforgettable chapter to Alvarez's remarkable journey in boxing. It hasn't always been smooth sailing for Alvarez. A stinging loss to Dmitry Bivol on the 24th of May 2022 reminded everyone, even the best champions hit rough patches. But instead of letting that defeat define him, Alvarez turned it into fuel for his next big move. He boldly announced his return to the super middleweight division, setting his sights on a thrilling trilogy bout against Gennady Golovkin on the 17th of September. Golovkin, the reigning force in the middleweight world, was stepping into new territory as he challenged the super middleweight limits for the very first time, while Alvarez was already a seasoned veteran in this weight class. At the pre-fight press conference in Los Angeles on the 25th of June 2022, Alvarez was as candid as ever. "He might act like a gentleman, but I know his true colors," he declared, making it clear that this rivalry was deeply personal, not just another competitive bout. Alvarez relished the opportunity to finally put Golovkin in his place, especially after waiting 4 long years for this trilogy to happen on his own terms and in his preferred division. When fight night arrived, Alvarez showcased his trademark blend of agility and tactical brilliance. He danced around Golovkin, landed crisp combinations, and controlled the pace, earning a unanimous decision with scores of 115 to 113 twice over and 116 to 112. It was a statement that reasserted his dominance in the super middleweight scene. Not long after, Alvarez made a triumphant return to his hometown on the 6th of May 2023, taking on John Ryder at Estadio Akron in Guadalajara. In front of a roaring crowd, he defended his undisputed titles with ease, winning another unanimous decision that further cemented his status as a national hero. The momentum didn't stop there. On September 30th, 2023, Alvarez faced former undisputed light middleweight champion Jermell Charlo, who had moved up 2 weight classes for the fight. Despite Charlo's valiant effort, Alvarez's superior skills once again prevailed.
Super middleweight championship to the end.
Then, on Cinco de Mayo weekend 2024 in Las Vegas, he overcame a spirited challenge from Jamie Munguia, stopping his momentum with a pivotal knockdown in the 4th round and securing a unanimous decision win.
Canelo Alvarez!
In September 2024, Alvarez defended his titles against Edgar Berlanga at the T-Mobile Arena, flooring him in round 3 before winning another unanimous decision. Looking to the future, a blockbuster showdown with Terence Crawford is on the horizon for September 2025 in Las Vegas. Will Alvarez's unstoppable spirit propel him to legendary heights, or is another formidable challenge waiting just around the corner? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching.